Craig, let's start by looking back at the victory against Falkirk on Saturday. 1-0 win and a night that will certainly live long in the memory.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. It's a fantastic result. It's always going to be tough going away to Falkirk, especially in their form, their league form, and also the Challenge Cup form, beating 3 championship clubs along the way, Ayr United, Queen's Park, and obviously Dundee United, who are, top of the Scottish Championship. So to beat 3 teams on the way to play us comfortably, then it was always going to be a challenge. But it just proves how good a result and how good of a performance the lads put in to win the game.
There's often talk of where the Cumbria Premier ranks compared to other leagues, and picking up that win against a team that's unbeaten in the league this season shows the strength of Welsh football.
Yeah, it does, definitely, without a doubt. And I've said it on numerous occasions. That every club I've been involved with have been reasonably successful in that competition, and I'm very, very proud to represent Wales. So yeah, it's a competition that the Welsh Premier League take have in high regard, take very, very serious. And I think it just proved that the gap is not a huge gap between ourselves and probably certainly the Scottish First Division, maybe mid-table Championship.
Well, is Airdrieonians now in the final? I know you won't want to look past the important matches we do have in the weeks ahead, but has the preparation started for that game already?
Yeah, obviously we had a long time travelling home on Saturday night, struck Sunday morning to recover, and you spend your time wisely and have a look straight away. Obviously we watched the game the night before against Wraith, which was live on TV, which were in the hotel watching it as a group of staff. So yeah, it was we've seen quite a bit of them. I will be going up in the next couple of weeks. Fortunately our schedule opens up to that because we're playing Friday night games, so it's brilliant. I can get myself up there on a Saturday and go and watch them. So yeah, we'll be doing our due diligence. But like you said, we had a good night on Saturday. The spirits were really high. The lads obviously really happy with a fantastic result and performance. But obviously they had Sunday to recover because they didn't get back till 4 or 5 a.m. on Sunday morning. So they've had 24, 48 hours maximum to recover, back in training today and preparing for Newtown tomorrow.
Well, you've spoken of your frustration of having a game so quickly after the win on Saturday. Has the preparations proven as difficult as you expected?
Yeah, it's always going to be, because you obviously can't do anything 48 hours after a game. It's really tough, especially I think I'm not so much the game, it's more so the travelling. Like you said, the lads is, sleep patterns being all messed up with not getting back till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, etc. So recovery is a huge thing in modern day football, and anyone with any ounce of common sense would realise that it's just not the right way to go about it to get the best get the best product for the Welsh Premier League. I've got no problem with Newtown and Bala. I want to play them games. They obviously want to take advantage of our situation. We would be exactly the same. But I think the powers that be need to have a look at themselves and see how it could be better and how they could help the Welsh Premier League represent Wales in international competitions.
Well, Phase 2 does kick off here at Park Hall tomorrow night against Newtown. We played them here at Park Hall a few weeks ago and they gave us a tough challenge, so probably expect more of the same tomorrow night.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. Newtown are a good club. They've got some very, very good players. They invested heavily in the summer with some really strong, experienced players. The front two, the 2 strikers, Aaron Williams and Oswell, are very experienced centre forwards that have played at a really good level in England and obviously scored a lot of goals in Wales. Everyone knows Lou Robles. Played at the football club. He's a very good player. You've got Evans in midfield, who captain Wrexham. You've got Ismail. So you've got a lot of very good players. So they were actually, before Chris left as well, they were, I think, 3rd in the league. So probably where they really probably should be. So obviously they've had a change of guard. Scotty's went in there. We all, worked a long time with Scotty. Scotty's a good friend and he's a very, very good coach and manager. So we will be obviously have to be on our guard because, how new managers come in, the bounce factor, etc. And obviously a very good person like Scotty, then we're going to be ready for it.
I did want to ask you about Scott actually. In fact, took over here at Park Hall when you left the first time around, and one of your former players as well. No doubt he'll be coming back to Parkour with a point to prove.
Yeah, Scotty's been a fantastic player first and foremost in the Welsh Premier League, and he's a very, very talented coach and manager. Afterwards, spent a lot of time with Scotty as a player for a year or 18 months, then a coach and an assistant. So it's he's been at the football club a long time, been involved with the Welsh Premier League for a long time, and I think you look at it, I think it was a very strange one to let Chris go, but I think you're putting him in a safe pair of hands with Scotty, and we will be after, obviously, Scotty want to come back to his old club and want to get a result. Of course he will. First game, making a big impression on the players, etc., etc. Will they play the same style? Will they play the same personnel? Well, that's something that we've got to figure out on the night and adapt to. But yeah, obviously we know the strengths, weaknesses, and but on the flip side, we are in a really good place at this moment in time.
We have mentioned the short turnaround between games, less than 72 hours between the two. Are we likely to see many changes, therefore, as a result?
I think we've just come in this morning. We'll assess how people are, if there's any injuries, if there's any DOMs or fatigue, and then we'll train accordingly today, and we'll obviously make sure we do our tactical stuff, and then we'll assess it really and see how we are from there. No one picked any injuries up, thankfully. So yeah, we'll have a full quarter of people fit. So yeah, we've got a full quarter to pick from, but obviously we've got to be mindful of the travel, of the intensity the game was played at, and obviously we've got another game on Friday, which we put to our back of our minds, because the most important game of the season now is tomorrow, Newtown at home, and that's how we'll be approaching the game. That no other game matters apart from now. The one behind we, Falkirk away, is gone. The one in front of we with Bala on Friday is a long way away. So the most important and to really focus our minds, Tuesday is really, really important.
We need now just 14 more points to lift the title for a 16th time, following Connah's Quay's draw on Friday night. Do you pay any sort of attention to the results in games like that, or is it simply a case of just focusing on our own games and performances?
Yeah, I think 95% of it has got to be us. It's got to be. I think it's the only way to be. But you've obviously got to give the respect and due diligence to other teams, and just through being involved in the Welsh Premier League for nearly 15 years now, then there's interest, and we look at it. We've got interest in other games as well, with Aberystwyth, with our players being there on loan as well. So naturally, you go and have a look at the scores and see what the results are. We obviously got Gwion Davids on loan at Carnarvon as well, so we keep a tab on how they're doing. So that ties in hand with looking at scores and just being naturally curious of what the scores are on the league. But yeah, it's Carnarvon. I believe Carnarvon were very good on the night, and unfortunately not to get the win. But we definitely 95% of it need to look after ourselves, and have done and always will.
And finally, the transfer window has closed now. No incomings at Parkour. Was that always the plan? But we did see one outgoing as well. John Routley's leaving on loan.
Yeah, we did. It's obviously been very frustrating for John. John obviously got injured early on in the European campaign against Hacken. It was quite a bad one. He was out for 10, 12 weeks with a muscle injury. And with the players doing so well, he's never got a real opportunity to get a run of games together. So John wanted to go out and play football. At John's age and experience and ability and quality, that's fully understandable. And and myself and the club were fair with him, and he go out and play games. Like I said, John's he's a very, very experienced player. We've got a lot of respect for John at this football club, as a player, as a person, and John's gone out there to play some games to get some football under his belt. So yeah, we didn't actually bring anyone in. Obviously, we signed Jordan Marsh earlier on. Marsh is obviously available to play now in January. I wouldn't rule out that we won't be bringing anyone else in. Obviously, we've got one spot to bring a free transfer in. So, there's a little bit of work behind the scenes going into that. We'll have to see. Might get an extra body in this week. But yeah, we've obviously got a very strong competitive squad. We always want to keep trying to improve, improve the challenges and the competitive edge. But yeah, the players have done really, really well so far, and we've got still in 4 competitions, and we've got a lot still to play for. So I don't expect standards to be dropped in any way, shape or form.